Dave, I imagine that the mood around the camp is quite buoyant, given the fact now you've picked up your first win, you're still unbeaten, and you played really well on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was an excellent performance. I mean, the mood around the camp, as you put it, has been good from day one. We've been generally pleased with how we've been playing, but obviously it was nice to get that first win.
How do you manage the players' expectations, particularly as you say now that the mood around the camp is good? Do you sometimes have to keep them a little bit grounded, particularly after they've played that way and won?
Well, we've got another game of football coming up tomorrow, so that's at the forefront of our minds now. Tuesday is gone. We'll take the positives from that performance, and also look at the things we felt we could have done better, and try and just move on now, and try and build on it.
I know a few of the players picked up knocks, as they have been doing over the last few games. Actually, Christian Montano in particular. Have you any more detail on how he is?
Yeah, Monty obviously took a blow to his head, so there was a slight concussion. So Monty's unlikely to figure tomorrow.
I know David Worrell's had a bit of a few knocks in the last few games as well, and he's done really well to come through the games, particularly with the energy levels that he's had as well. I mean, do you have to manage him quite carefully?
Well, we have to make sure that he's getting recovery time, but he's no different from the other lads. They all put in a shift in, but obviously Dave has had a few knocks, as you say, and his energy levels have been fantastic in the games.
Are you pleased with the way that the team has approached the last few games? I know losing Manny was quite a big part of what you wanted to do in pre-season. So, given the change you've had to make, are you pleased with how they've adapted to that?
Obviously, yeah. Manny's a big player for us. There's no getting away from that. But, so far we've coped without him, and the lads that have come in and replaced him have all done a good job for us. So it's important that we've got cover and we've got competition, and that can only be healthy for us.
You mentioned competition there. The manager made a big call on Tuesday and changed things around up front as well. Just tell us about Richie Bennett and what he's brought to the side since you've decided to give him a few cameos and then eventually put him in for the start.
Well, Richie's, he's been going about his work quietly behind the scenes. He's obviously, he came on at Salford and got his goal. So we just felt that now was the right time, and it saved us having to push Tom, too much at Saturday. So it's another option for us. It keeps everyone on their toes, and Richie's come in and took his opportunity well.
I don't want to use the phrase younger Tom Pope, but you look at the two of them next to one another and they're very much in a similar mould, aren't they?
Tom's a little bit more physical, to be honest. Richie's, he's got that hammer of a left foot. If he gets half a yard and, he's within shooting distance, then Richie's got a tremendous strike on him, and, he brings people into the game well. But they're both, they're both a good asset for us, and they're a handful for any back four.
That competition you talked about is quite evident there, because you've got Tom and Richie, you've got Mark Cullen waiting in the wings as well. It's a big difference from last year where you were relying on Tom a lot.
Yeah, we obviously heavily relied on Tom, and we're going to need him again this year, so no doubt we'll be relying on him again. But as you say, we've got Mark Cullen, who's he's desperate to get into the team and play his part, and it's a nice situation for the manager at the moment.
I suppose in that respect, you've got to kind of keep everybody happy, haven't you?
Yeah, we were saying sort of earlier in the week that with the tighter group, everyone feels that they're closer to the team, so they're never far away. And Mark, obviously, he knows that he's not far away from our team either, so I think that's important.
You're still looking at players. You've got somebody from Notts County with you at the moment. Just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we've got Jon Willin, who started his career at Manchester City. Very promising young player. For whatever reason, it didn't work out for him at Notts County, and he's one that just sort of pops up on the radar, and he's allowed to have a look at us, and we're able in a situation where we can have a look at him. And he's only been in one day, but he trained very well yesterday, so we'll take it from there.
What type of player is he?
He's a midfielder, very comfortable in possession, likes to join the front man, get forward, very creative. He's 6 foot, so he's good stature. So yeah, it's an interesting one for us, and one that we're just going to have a look at it and see how it goes.
I know the manager is still looking as well, and has looked about defenders and strikers. Are you any further along with those?
No, but there is work being done behind the scenes there. I know the gaffer's been very busy with agents and one or two players, but there's nothing over the line yet, but that's not to say that something won't happen.
You go to Grimsby, as we say, on the back of an unbeaten run now. It is a difficult place to go traditionally for Port Vale as well, so how do you approach it?
Well, we'll approach it no different to any other games that we've had this season, but we know Grimsby's a tough venue. They've had a reasonable start themselves, so they're a strong physical team. So we'll have to make sure that we're at it again, and hopefully if we can give the same sort of level of performance, then we'll know we'll be competitive.
I know you've worked on a very high pressing game, particularly with teams like that who are going to go at you straight from the get-go. Is that really, really important in a game like this?
Well, we know how we try and set up. We obviously have an idea about Grimsby, but it's about us imposing our style and our philosophy, if you like, on the game. And so far we've done that in games this season, so we'll be looking obviously to continue that.
A key part of that's the full-backs, which is the final thing I wanted to cover with you, is that James Gibbons and Adam Crooks, particularly on Tuesday, but the season as a whole, been getting forward more and linking up with the wingers. What have you made of how they've kind of adapted to the role that, in particular, Adam may find a little unfamiliar?
Yeah, no, they've both done very well, both offensively and defensively, and they can be delighted with how they're performing. It's a big part of our game, those little combinations between the wide player and the fullback and the midfielder. The gaffer talks about it and works on it a lot. So it's nice to see that being put into practice in match situations.